In the Central Bucks School District, we want our students to be hardworking, productive, and successful today and in the future. We also want them to be prepared to effectively face the challenges of the 21st century. Our students need to understand ideas and concepts at a deeper level. They need to be able to critically examine text and synthesize information from a multitude of print and electronic sources. And they need to thoughtfully communicate as they read and write. In fact, the ability to synthesize and analyze information may well be one of the most important literacy skills of the 21st century. Over the past 2 years, the Central Bucks School District has undergone a process of curriculum revisions in the areas of reading and language arts. These changes in the curriculum will enable the Central Bucks School District to create a roadmap for teachers to ensure that students are prepared to read and write at the high levels demanded of them, while putting success within the reach of all of our learners. In classrooms throughout Central Bucks, skills and strategies are explicitly taught, and teachers model their thinking, gradually turning over the reins to children with the goal of developing creative, enthusiastic, and independent readers and writers. Reading and writing occur throughout the day. The students are expected to apply the strategies they learn in language arts classes when reading texts in subjects like science, social studies, and math. Finally, teachers use authentic text as well as a variety of instructional formats, including whole class, small group, and individual instruction to help students achieve the high-level thinking and literacy skills they will need to become successful in the 21st century. The gradual release of responsibility model enables students to engage with text and with one another in a way that promotes a deep level of understanding. The model emphasizes the importance of students actively engaging with text, peers, and teachers in a more thoughtful and overt manner.
Today I want you to listen to 2 phrases. One is called I know, and one is called I wonder. When you say I know, it's something you know for sure. For example, I know Nix loves basketball, for sure, because he has lots of trophies, he's on the basketball team. So something you know for sure, you're going to say, I know. The other part is, I wonder. When you have an asking question, Nix, I wonder, do you like golf? I want you to think about what we learned earlier today. I know and I wonder. What's something you know? And you're going to say the phrase, I know, and give me your finger so I know for sure you know something about this book. It can be a clue the illustrator gave you or a clue the author gave you. Gianna.
I know that the super kids have brown hair.
Who else has a good I wonder question? Ella, ask it to me.
I wonder if the super kids made the dragon dizzy.
Now, why do you think that?
Because they're flying around him like dragon, and it looks like he's scared.
As students progress through the grades, they are taught to become more metacognitive as they think about their own thinking. They continue to develop deeper levels of understanding as they actively engage in asking questions, summarizing and synthesizing text, and constructing meaning as they read and write.
But what I want us to do today and from now on is to really think about our personal response. I want us to think more and to think deeply. I want us to really think a lot about the facts that we're writing down. And you might be sitting there and be thinking, well, why? And the reason is our personal reactions allow us to really connect the new information with what we already know. So that's what you're going to watch me do today. That's what you're going to be doing a lot today when I send you off to read. The Polos were merchants. Their goal was to bring back valuable trade goods from China. Can I share my notebook with you? It looks like this. The Polos were merchants. Right, I wanted to get that fact down in my notebook. And then I wrote this question. So, why travel so far from home? Now, hands down for a minute. That's a great question, and I'm so glad I recorded it, but I want to see if you can dig a little deeper with that question. Can you do that? Quickly turn and talk with your neighbor. What do you think?
I think why travel so far.
So I'm going to send you off, and I know you have an article that you're going to be reading today. You're either going to be reading about icebergs or Ryan's Well, or you're going to be doing some reading around rescue animals. I want you to do the great work that you've been doing where you stop and jot important facts about the article. But I really want you to pay close attention to your personal reactions and really try to dig deep. Give me a thumbs up sign if that makes sense.
In a small group setting, the teacher continues to work with students on strategies modeled in the large group session. In doing so, the teacher, as the expert, is gradually releasing the responsibility to the students and guiding their use of the focus strategy. Once the teacher feels that the students are able to use this strategy, students are then asked to apply the strategy independently in both fiction and nonfiction text. As students are reading, the teacher schedules independent book conferences in an effort to better understand students as readers and to assess their independent application of the strategy.
If you were to choose one personal reaction that you really feel good about, which one would it be?
I would choose this one about the title.
Why so?
Wait, it says, I'm always wondering why they call icebergs floating snow cones.
As students enter middle school and high school, they find that the amount of reading and the type of reading becomes increasingly complex. The skills needed to understand this demanding text in a variety of subject areas become increasingly important. Middle and high school teachers in Central Bucks are teaching their students to be better readers of their course material.
So now I'm going to share with you this article written that was from the New York Times detailing the epic fail of Blockbuster. And it's sort of set up like a Greek tragedy. They have 7 acts. And I've divided you guys into 7 groups. And this is sort of an interesting literacy strategy, a reading strategy that we sort of do here often. What I want to do is we've broken down some of the key words and key concepts. And I've placed them on your desk here in this little square paper that you have. But what I want you guys to do is to take each and every word from the list provided on your desk, and I want you to put them in the appropriate box. This is a good way to preview your article here about the fall of Blockbuster. You're going to be previewing it. And then when you actually do read the article, a lot of these terms and words will come up and it will focus your reading and you'll be able to see how accurate some of your predictions were. So again, this is a reading strategy that gets you actively involved and allows you to predict and hopefully analyze what you just read.
Teaching students the high-level literacy skills necessary to effectively communicate their thoughts as writers also involves the gradual release of responsibility. Students are asked to actively engage with text and with one another, with an emphasis on writing with a purpose in mind and communicating in a thoughtful and articulate manner. Strategies that good writers use are modeled by teachers through the use of mentor text. Mentor texts serve as a snapshot into the future. They help students envision the kind of writer they can become. They help teachers move the whole writer, rather than the individual piece of writing, forward. Mentor texts are introduced as read-alouds, with students appreciating and responding to them as readers. Then, students revisit them through the eyes of a writer. It is with these writing eyes that students use mentor text to help them set goals for their own writing. By exposing students to the craft of authentic authors, they stand on the shoulders of these authors, learning from what they do, identifying what makes their writing interesting, and deciding which techniques students will include in their own writing.
Equally so when we look at Hello, Harvest Moon. How amazing was this book? Wasn't this amazing?
Yeah.
And when we totally got into this, didn't we really started to see the moon as a character? He personified the moon for us and gave us a way to imagine that moon rising in such a magical way. And writers, that's what we want to do. Ralph knew exactly what the purpose was for his book.
After a mentor text is shared in a mini-lesson, students spend time writing, applying what was learned. During this independent writing time, the teacher meets with and learns from the writers in the class. Students share their writing and their thinking with their teacher, providing important information about their individual strengths and areas for growth.
If I won the lottery, maybe. If I won the lottery, I would be the greatest. People would stare, but I wouldn't share, so they complain and blame the guys who thought up such a prize. Amazed that a 7-year-old could win even though his dad is a billionaire.
Okay, so your irony, what is your irony in that?
That a 7-year-old won the lottery even though his dad is already a billionaire.
Okay, very good, very good.
During the writing conference, the goal is for teachers to synthesize what they hear, see, and know about each child, supporting them and questioning them in an effort to develop a theory about them as writers. To begin, teachers are fully present as they confer with each young writer, caring, celebrating, and responding, while being sure to reinforce the efforts of each child. Next, teachers must decide what to teach based on the individual strengths and needs of each student. These decisions are guided by what will help each writer, rather than what might improve any one piece of writing. Finally, recognizing that they will not always be there when their students write, teachers strive to release responsibility to the students. Students need to become critical readers of their writing, learning how to interact with their own developing drafts.
Can you read just that first sentence again? I'm going to close my eyes. I'm going to think about it. I want to try to see it in my mind.
People are behind her, but she doesn't stop going.
Okay. People are behind her, but she doesn't stop going. I'm wondering, since you know so much about sports, okay, if maybe we could use some stronger words there. I heard you mention like left, right. Okay. Now, when I'm watching sports on TV, I see a lot of really strong, like charging type actions.
Yeah.
And so I think in this piece, what I want to teach you is I want to teach you about how important it is to use those strong verbs that are really going to create a better picture here for your reader. Okay?
Students in secondary schools also learn to write well by reading mentor text and noting how the writer purposefully incorporates literary devices to convey his or her message to engage the reader. Students participate in a focused reading activity and make note of the specific strategies good writers use to make their writing effective.
So we know that what we are to be looking for in this is we're going to be taking a look at his use of repetition and keywords and ideas. We also know that they're telling us that it's this repetition of keywords and ideas that is helping to achieve coherence. When you see repetition of keywords and ideas, grab a Post-it, mark it up, put it next to that section. The other thing I want you to do is I want you to try to identify the thesis in this piece. What we want to do as we're taking a look at Russell Baker's piece and other pieces in this book and the piece of writing that you're doing, we want to try and unlock the craft of writing. And we're going to be doing it by looking at it from the sentence and the words on up through an entire piece. Take a look at anything that you might have said in your piece and see if you can't transfer some of what Russell Baker did in his to yours.
Throughout all of our schools and classrooms, teachers model their thinking and gradually release the responsibility of applying strategies to children in order to develop creative, enthusiastic, and independent readers and writers. Our goal is for our students to achieve the high-level thinking and literacy skills necessary for them to be successful now and in the future. Through their interactions with text and with one another, Central Bucks students in kindergarten through 12th grade learn to synthesize and analyze information, one of the most important literacy skills of the 21st century.